Hi, I'm Amy at Root Wellness Studio. I'm a therapist and an intuitive astrologer, and I wanted to make a little video about why astrology matters, why it's something to pay attention to, why it's something that can be an amazing healing tool, as well as a tool for personal growth and self-acceptance. So I've been a therapist for well more than 20 years, and in my time working as a therapist, one collective general observation that I've made is that most, if not all, problems come from not being fully embodied in who we really and truly are at the core of our being at a soul frequency level. Now, the reason for that might be trauma or some kind of family programming or societal conditioning or a chemical, like a neurochemical thing happening in our brain, or, any number of things. And those are the things that we're treating in therapy, right? But as I started to connect my own intuitive, energetic understanding of the world, like just sort of feeling and sensing people and energies day by day, and then connecting it with what was happening with my clients as individual human people experiencing the world that I knew on an intimate level, and then started to learn the language, the energetic language that is astrology, I was able to connect all of the dots. And so for me, using intuitive astrology is the key foundational answer to healing and evolving. And I do have the belief that our kind of purpose in this lifetime is to evolve, whether we take that in a humanistic way, like I'm in this body in this lifetime and I'm meant to evolve and heal here and now, or whether we put that on a broader, more kind of soul perspective, which I tend to take, which is that we're here again and again and again in the human field, in the earth dimension, living a lot of these human lives. And each one is to evolve personally, but also on a soul level. So how does astrology work? What is it about? So I think about it like this. We're these teeny tiny little beings, little receptors, little electromagnetic fields of energy with a mammal body and electrical current in our brains, with the structure of the ego and the thinking mind that's kind of telling us the story, and we're living inside of this sort of narrative of the self and our own experience. And here we are on this massive planet that is a part of a way bigger solar system, that's a part of a way bigger galaxy. And we're just down here thinking that we're sort of just in this little, human realm in the neighborhood where we live with the people that we know. But we're really constantly receiving energy frequencies all the time. We get them from the sun and the moon. I'm just mentioning these because most people can relate to the idea that the full moon affects you in some way. The sunshine, the sunlight affects you in some way. So there's these planetary bodies that we're constantly in a relationship with. So the more we are able to tune in, first and foremost to ourselves, our own central channel, our ability to receive and understand and gather information, then the more we are really embodied in ourselves and connected to the greater planet, all of humanity, and to the greater galaxy. So basically, each planet has its own vibrational field, which carries like a unique signature, an energy signature, which is like a combination of harmonies and energies. And those vibrational codes are moving. They're always moving around the sun. And then they're sort of like the trail of their energy. It's almost like a comet. Like the trail of their energy is sort of leaving that vibrational code. And then that's mixing in with a communication with other vibrational codes of other planets that are moving at different paces still all around the sun. And all of these energies are then affecting the earth, kind of coming back to the earth as a code or vibrational frequency. And then here we are in our tiny little selves in our own electromagnetic field, kind of picking up and taking on all of these energetics. And if we don't know we're doing that, then we're just in self mode. And we might get a trickle of some energy that creates a feeling in our body, that creates a reaction in our physical system and our nervous system, that then puts us into a story in our mind that we're telling. And then all of a sudden we're in our own story, we're in our own sort of ego story about what we think is the reason why we are having that feeling that we're having. Does that make sense? Okay, so now I'm going to bring it back to the moment of your birth. Why it matters to pay attention to your birth chart, your natal chart. We'll use those interchangeably. At the moment you were born, all of those same planets were having their own moment in time, holding their vibrational frequency, their vibrational code, and then mixing or harmonizing or reacting with the energetics of all the other planets. And all of this was happening from the perspective of the earth. And your soul, as a seed of light, a zinc spark that connected your soul to the human biology, that then grew as a fetus, and then you were born as a human baby, that moment that the soul comes out into its own energetic field, the moment that the baby leaves the mother's body and becomes its own energy, that moment has an imprint, like a signature that's imprinted as a fixed energy, as a part of your electromagnetic field. It's very complex because it has lots of moving parts, lots of different vibrational codes happening. And it has to do with all of these beautiful, nuanced, very individualized bits of energy code and energy frequency that make up who you are, how you are going to experience your life, experience yourself, whether or not you are in harmony from a human, ego, thinking, mind, family systems, cultural systems kind of way with what's natural to you, what's in your natal chart, or not. Okay, so coming back to your birth chart and why. The energy in your birth chart holds the frequency of that moment in time, and it's made up by the different elements, the different vibrational codes that are unique to each planet, and each of those representing sort of a component of the self, like your mind, your body, your heart, that kind of thing. And of course, this is very complex. Astrology is a beautiful study that has been observed, and all of the oldest artifacts that we have on our planet and the oldest written texts that we have on our planet all include astrology, astronomical and astrological observations from all different civilizations all over the world, observing the same energies and the same patterns, even though there was not that we know of any form of connection between the societies over time. So when you have your chart, it is like this brilliant key that holds all of the nuances of the energy of you. You could literally study your natal chart for your entire life and still be learning more about it. It's amazing how much information is there. And as you do so, you recognize that you really are meant to be who you are, that there's so much validation in digging deep and learning and understanding your chart. And there's a couple of ways to study that. One is to just sort of look at the chart and understand the placements of the planets, but another is to actually live in embodiment in your life as you're observing and learning about the movements in the sky in real time and understanding how that impacts you based on your chart. And that's the kind of teaching that I like to do, where we are really learning very specifically what the existing vibrational energies that are moving and in relationships with each other, what that's activating in us so that we can more deeply know and understand and accept the components of who we really are at our beautiful, like, fingerprint of a cosmic vibration of energy. So that is what it is to learn and do astrology with me. I'm also very practical. So it's like, okay, great. That's great. There's so much expanse in that. But what do I do with it? And so as an example, okay, here's like right now where I am. I'm sitting outside. I'm in the sun. I'm sitting here with my red hair. I have so much fire in my chart. And that's something that makes sense to me, that it helps me make choices. I'm not someone who's going to sit inside at a desk and make these videos and sit still, because I need to be moving. I need to be engaged. I need to be with the sunlight. I need to be in that kind of fiery initiation kind of energy. And so that makes me follow my own unique frequency to make videos like this, kind of on the fly, unplanned, not, looking through an outline or something like that, just kind of spontaneously moving through what I want to say. I also have my Sun and my Venus in a water sign. Again, the fluidity, the flowing, the organic nature feels right to me. So these are just really silly, simple examples of how I am living out my chart. So the more you get to know the placements in your chart, the relationships that the planets have in your birth chart, and then how different pieces of those are being activated by the current vibrational codes of what's happening in the transiting planets in the sky right now, the more you can embody who you really are, because you have an understanding. This isn't just happening on a cognitive behavioral level like a lot of healing modalities or coaches or therapists are doing, where you're just working on the story that you're telling yourself, or having a different, more supportive belief inside of you or something like that. Rather, this is continuing to uncover and unravel and more deeply and intimately connect with all of the energies that have always been in you. So it's an excavation. It's pulling off all of the layers and releasing the programming or the dissociation or the ways that we have kept ourselves from our authentic code inside of us, which comes from our birth chart. And so it's a deep learning within while also in relationship without. So it's like both. It's really a beautiful, practical way to work with evolving and healing and moving through personal growth. So I know everything with astrology always has this sort of ethereal quality to it. It's so hard to put it into words. The language of astrology is so much more expansive than the spoken language that we have here on this planet. So it's always hard to put it into words, but I really hope to see you in a reading, in a one-on-one reading, or in one of my courses. I also have online self-paced courses where you can start to teach yourself about your chart and to learn some of the beautiful magic that is understanding astrology. I really look forward to helping you uncover all that is essentially authentically you.